My Craftsman lawnmower will not start, according to the wife. So I've come to investigate. All I hear is a click. So we'll have to figure out what's going on. Alright, so let's check the battery connections, make sure they're tight. And those are tight. So now we're going to make sure we have voltage at the battery. .42 volts. So the battery's good. Our connections are good. So let's see if the starter's getting any juice. So I have the parking brake set so I don't have to hold the brake / clutch down to get it started. So I'm just going to put the positive on the starter here, hold negative to a ground. And right now that is 0. And when I turn the key it is still 0. So it's not the starter, but I do hear an audible click. So it's probably, there's a solenoid right back here, and that's probably what it is. Alright, so now we're going to want to take off these hot wires off the solenoid here. Big ones. And I'm going to guess they are another 7/16. Alright, so here we have our solenoid here. So one thing I forgot to check or mention, so I believe the other side of the solenoid, you know, I have the white side that goes from the key switch to the solenoid to activate it. The other side, I believe, is the ground, and that has to go through the safety switches in order to start. So it could be that there's some resistance on the safety side, and that might be preventing a full 12 volts going through the solenoid, preventing the solenoid from completely engaging. So I got my meter set to ohms. Going to check resistance, and never want to check resistance if there's like power, but since I unhooked the battery, should be able to. And according to my meter, there's a 0.2, so that's pretty good, because usually if you just go across the wires like this, this is 0.2. So there's no resistance on the ground side, so definitely it has to be that solenoid. And the good news is I have a solenoid. I had one just sitting on the shelf in the shop, and it's just a generic not brand specific. So here's a jumper wire. If you wanted to get rid of all your safety switches and whatnot, you could just run this ground strap down to your bolt. You know, let's say you had a bad switch for your clutch or whatever. You don't want to, you think you're safe enough, you don't have to have that. That's kind of what that's for. So I think I'm going to bend my tabs up here a little bit. There we go, kind of match the other one. And I believe that these bolts, or the nuts, not bolts, the nuts that are on this solenoid are bigger than the 7/16 that I grabbed. I'm just gonna confirm, yes it is. And I don't have a 1/2 inch with me at the moment, but I do have a one size fits most. Which, these aren't gonna have a lot of torque behind them anyways, so should be okay. Okay, we got the big terminals tight. Now we can get it mounted. Well, we got one on. Now we just need to get the other one on. And we can tighten these down again. Then we can connect our leads back. So we have our ground here. And our key switch signal wire. There we go. You gotta make sure you want to put your cover back on your. This is going to be hot all the time, and you don't want that touching any metal, arcing. Make sure you put the cover back on that. All right, now we'll get our battery back together. Once I find the nut that I lost. So I got my positive unhooked. I dropped my nut down the side to hold on my negative. Found it. So you're going to make sure you hook up your positive first. That way if you touch anything while that's getting put on, you don't arc your tool. Nice good connection. And we'll put our ground back on. Alright, that's a nice good tight connection. Let's see if she starts. Looky there, we got her.